Hello everyone! In this lesson, I'll be showing you how to paint this butterfly. Now, I didn't achieve this result in one go. Before starting the final piece, I always do a color study, like this one here. The color study allows me to experiment freely with my colors and decide on my palette. During this process, I don't have to worry about getting the shapes perfectly right or making mistakes. My main focus is on capturing what draws me most to this butterfly, the beautiful transition from pale yellow to reddish brown. With this color study, when I move on to the final painting, I won't need to think too much about the colors. Now, let's start the demonstration and see how we can paint this butterfly. I've already sketched the outline on paper using a 2H pencil, drawing lightly to avoid smudging the surface. Based on my color study, I've decided to use warm yellow, orange, warm red, yellow ochre, dark red, sepia ink, and black. I'll also be using titanium white watercolor, which I've squeezed onto my palette for later use. For the brush, I'm using a water brush. I love how its tip is flexible and always stays moist. Now let's start mixing the colors. I'm gonna mix a desaturated light yellow, and for that, I'll add a small amount of white. This kind of opaque white creates a tone that can't be achieved with transparent pigments alone. Now let's begin the first wash. When painting smooth straight lines or curves, you can press down on the brush to get a steady line. If you make a mistake, don't worry, especially with light colors like this, you can lift the paint with a tissue. Just be sure to blot any excess water first. We need to work quickly, as we'll be blending other colors shortly, so the surface needs to stay wet. We can occasionally add more of the mixed color to previously painted areas to keep them moist, ensuring that the moisture level remains consistent across the entire shape once it's completed. Now let's mix a rich yellow and blend it onto the wet paper. Make sure the pigment on your brush is quite concentrated, as the color will lighten once the paper dries. While the yellow area is still wet, we'll mix a thick red orange and blend it into the yellow. Now, while it's still wet, let's do some scratching for texture. I'll continue to deepen the colors and add the black spots. I'm directly dipping into the black paint to get the thickest consistency. Now that this round of blending is complete, we've layered multiple layers from light to dark, with the mixture transitioning from watery to very thick. This is a common approach in the wet-on-wet technique. For the butterfly's body, I'm choosing a less saturated dark color to balance the overall warm tones and bring harmony to the painting. Adding black to the yellow not only lowers the saturation, but also reduces its brightness. Since I don't want hard edges here, I'll first moisten the paper with a clean brush before applying the color. I want to soften the edges here, so I'll gently use a clean brush to blend them out. I'll wait until the moisture on the body dries a bit before adding more details. In the meantime, I'll paint the antenna. Now, I'll pause on the details for a moment to work on the black gradient at the tips of the butterfly's wings. This is one of the defining features of the butterfly. I'll be using just two colors here, a dark red to add warmth and black to tone it down. Again, I'll pre-wet the areas where I want soft edges to create a smooth transition. When applying water to the paper, make sure to do it gently, or you might accidentally lift the paint. Now that the main features are mostly done, we are left with the final step, adding details. When adding details, there's a 1K principle. Don't disrupt the contrast already established in the painting. Through practice, you'll find the right balance. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and feel inspired to keep practicing. Thanks for watching and see you next time.